The blizzard warned of its approach, with wind whooping through your hair. You scrutinized the approaching storm. You were no meteorologist, but the darkened clouds seemed to be overtaking the sky much too quickly. You tear your gaze away, helping the last member of the research team on board. You'd been sent to evacuate a small research team before that storm hit the area. It was predicted to be one of the worst experienced, and would have rendered them stranded for weeks with no supply to restock their own. Had they not been evacuated, they would have run out and starved. There was a snag in the mission, however. The number of team members given to you was incorrect. There were more evacuees than expected, and the maximum weight of the helicopter had already been reached. You worry your chin up, overthinking the possibility that the people would not make it back in time before the storm hit, with the added weight. Take them and go, swing back around for me, you tell them, giving the storm another once-over. The helicopter was already overweight. Putting another body onto it would only further the risk. They'd be slow, and with the storm rolling in fast, they might get caught in it. It might be safer for the pilot to take the team first, to avoid the clash. Are you sure? The pilot asked. You brushed him off. You could wait an hour or so. I'll be fine. Just hurry and get these people to safety. The pilot turned to check out the incoming blizzard, and he nodded. He sealed the door shut, and the helicopter wings whirled to life. The gusts of wind seemed feeble compared to the whoops you experienced from the environment. You watched them leave and decide to follow their path, walking to maintain warmth. What do you mean you can't fucking find them? Izuku watched Katsuki's meltdown, feeling his own heart thump unsteadily on the verge of a panic attack. You were stuck, in the midst of a blizzard, alone. No communications were responded to. Izuku fisted his hands tightly. We're going out there, he announced to the room. We need your helicopter. No helicopter we have can brave the storm, the pilot of the mission said. That's why it was so imperative we make it back before the storm hits. The winds are too strong, and with the snow, we'd be flying blind. Then why the fuck did you leave them there? Katsuki raged. You knew the storm was dangerous. Why is our partner still in the bloody thing? Despite the pilot being of obvious older age, his nervousness showed when faced with Katsuki's temper. They told me to come back for them. We thought we'd be able to get to them before the storm hit, but it moved faster than we expected. You abandoned them. Fucking useless, Katsuki spat as he stormed forward, his red eyes burning like hot coals. Izuku caught onto his arm, knowing Katsuki was not above exploding the pilot. Kachan, stop! We need to find a way to get to them. Izuku faced the room filled with high-ranking members of the US Hero Agency. There has to be a way. There isn't, said one of the heroes. That's why we evacuated before the storm hit. Izuku could feel worry burning in his throat. He felt overwhelmed with worrying about you and Katsuki screaming at the American heroes, now in Japanese. He leaned over a chair, clutching hard onto the leather material. His mind spun with his thoughts and emotions. It wasn't as though you three were in Japan, with your connections and friends that could help. You were all part of an exchange program in America. Then it hit him. You, Katsuki, and him were not the only ones there. Kachan, May is in America. You can try at my new snowstorm babies. They'll keep you warm as you make the trek there. But your quirks will definitely rip through them, so don't use them. We'll take you as far as the storm allows to their last known location. The locator should still be active. When you get close enough to them, this will pick them up. And take this backpack baby as well. There's a compressed suit in there, among other stuff. I want a full review on all these items when you get back. Those were May's departing words to them, before they dropped Katsuki and Izuku off at the edge of the storm. The time it took to gather the supplies and fly to this location was enough to bring Izuku's anxiety to a peak. and Katsuki's angry aura too frightening. As Katsuki and Izuku trekked their way through the frozen wasteland and its strong winds, Katsuki grumbled about the suit that Mei had popped them in, though Izuku knew that he really didn't care. The suit itself was well designed. It was a fitting black bodysuit, insulated to keep all the heat inside, and it barred itself from any cold. There was a helmet that made Izuku feel as though they were astronauts exploring a new world, though really the helmet was a closer match to a motorbike helmet, just smaller and hosting a vent that warmed the air from outside before it let it pass to the wearer. The front of the helmet was clear glass, and Izuku was grateful to be able to see Katsuki through it. His ruby eyes were focused ahead of him. Despite being far from your last known location, he searched the void for any sign of you. Izuku couldn't help but do the same, though now he knew why they didn't want to risk sending a helicopter here. He couldn't see anything further than the snow blowing on the glass of his helmet. He merely held on to the hope that as they walked to you, you were making your way towards them. Time flowed inconsistently. Each few meters felt as though they took hours to walk. It was as though somewhere, someone was shaving a pencil holding all the time they had left to find you, using an electric sharpener, and the pencil was already looking too short. When a beep sounded on both Katsuki's and Izuku's wristbands, embedded in their suits, the relief was tangible. They were getting closer. Izuku exhaled, as though he'd been holding the air in since they'd arrived. Kachan, they don't seem far. We'll get to them soon. Tuh, I can read, Deku, Katsuki snapped. You don't need to spell things out for me. Kachan, it's okay to be worried, Izuku replied gently, knowing that Katsuki was just as worried as him. This was just his way. I'm not fucking worried. I'm pissed off, Katsuki shouts. Why would they stay behind? What stupid line of thinking was their dumbass brains going through? I swear, when I see them, I'm going to shove their heads so far back in the snow, they'll look like a fucking snow ostrich. Kachan, Izuku chided. At least give them a chance to explain. Aren't you a puss, Deku? Or are you just ignoring the fact that they risked their lives by being here? Izuku cut himself off, because the truth was, he was upset with you. Anything could have happened to you in this unfamiliar environment. Sighing, he replied, We'll sort this out when we get out of the storm, Kachan. Right now, I just want to find them. There was no use adding more fuel to Katsuki's anger when it burned bright enough for the two of them. Katsuki clicked his tongue, but pressed on. Another beep alerted Izuku to your nearness. Izuku whipped his head around hopefully, but turned to Katsuki nervous when he couldn't spot you. I don't get it. The locator put them right... A long resounding beep halted them. Izuku's eyebrows scrunched in confusion. Here. Katsuki and Izuku dropped their chins to look at the snow they stood on, and like a bolt of lightning, the realization struck them. In a panic of motion, they collapsed to their knees and began frantically shoveling snow. Tears pricked Izuku's eyes, clouding his vision, while questions collided in his head. How long had you been here? How long could someone survive under the snow? Could you even breathe? What if... Deku, shut up and just dig. They're not fucking dead. They're not, Katsuki yelled, his voice raw with terror. They dug fast, flinging snow away to be carried by the rapid winds. Minutes passed without finding you, and Izuku grew hysterical. His quirk began to slip into his movements, lighting the black suit with green. He dug faster, using one for all. Oi, dumbass! Your suit! He heard Katsuki shout, but he ignored him. The suit tore, cold seeping in through slits. It was like being dumped in a tub of ice, but Izuku kept moving, could see and hear nothing but the snow in front of him, and the voice in his head screeching the same question. Where were you? Here! Katsuki shouted suddenly. Izuku, they're here! Izuku pulled up, abruptly, eyes flicking to where Katsuki tugged on a gloved hand. Izuku, quickly! Izuku hurried to shift the snow from your body, searching for your face. He found it. deathly pale with lips holding a blue tint. Puppy! Izuku trembled as he yanked your body from its icy grave. Katsuki's chest moved rapidly, as though he wasn't getting enough air. He looked over your body with wide, alarmed eyes. Kachan, we have to find shelter. We have to get them warm. Katsuki jerked onto his feet hastily. Izuku hauled you into his arms. Izuku, the mountain is there. We'll probably find something. They sprinted over the soft snow to the mountains, pleading for a ray of sunshine in the storm. You were cold. You could hear your teeth chattering, but couldn't feel yourself shivering. Couldn't feel anything other than the icy numbness and the aches that plagued every bone in your body. Though there was a warmth that soothed you, a warmth that surrounded you, but was slow to seep into your skin. You needed more. You shift forward where you assume the source of heat is, and untensed your muscles when the warmth crowded your back as well. You blink your eyes open, barely a sliver of an opening. A small groan escaped your throat. The warmth tightens around you like arms. Poppy, you awake? Zoo? You rasp, your voice brittle. A small sob of relief sounds from in front of you. Thank God you're all right, he snuffled. You say, a little puzzled, your brain still frozen and playing catch-up. Where are we? We're in a cave, cause your dumb ass couldn't stay out of a fucking blizzard, Katsuki says from behind you. Katsuki? What are you both doing here? Saving you, you ungrateful shit, Katsuki hisses. Saving me? From what? You force your eyes to meet Izuku's troubled ones. What's the last thing you remember, puppy? You rack your brain, trying to remember. You were walking through the storm, still in the direction the helicopter had flown in. There was a loud cracking sound that rumbled from your left before everything went black. Avalanche. You shiver in realization. It's so cold, Zoo. Izuku bit his lip. Come closer. Here. You didn't think he could be any closer, but Izuku pulled you to him, your nose pressed to his neck. Katsuki behind you moves accordingly. Their skin was feverish against yours. There was a hand at your hair, stroking in slow, reassuring caresses. The chattering of your teeth lessened, even if it was by a fraction. It calmed you, lulled you into a light slumber. It's okay. Rest. You're safe with us. You couldn't be sure whether Izuku was trying to reassure himself or you. Either way, you let sleep take you peacefully. The next time you open your eyes, the chattering had stopped. You are pleasantly toasty with a safe weight at your back. A little shift of your head and you see a stray green curl tickling your cheek. Then you notice the tent. It was a sleek black tent in the shape of a large dome. The floor beneath you was cushioned thinly, but more comfortable than an air mattress. Over you was a cozy green blanket, likely insulated from the inside. At the center of the dome was a fire, or what at first glance would be a fire, but it was a hologram that lit up the tent and cast the same orange reflection along the tent's sides. It was an amazing piece of work, and you could immediately guess who designed this. Look who's up! You see Katsuki at a small gas stove, cooking something that smelled characteristically delicious. Your heart grew tender from the familiar sight. Even at home, Katsuki was a self-appointed chef. Izuku was banned from coming within a meter of the stove. Something about setting fire to the adjacent cupboards from trying to fry an egg. And while that was a conundrum, it pales in comparison to your catastrophe. Aren't you supposed to be over here keeping me warm? You joke. But Katsuki startles you when he growls. You almost died, dumbass, and you got the nerve to fucking joke? What the fuck were you thinking? You hesitate under Katsuki's anger. This wasn't his usual, lovable, raging Katsuki. This was fury. You resist the urge to sink further into Izuku's embrace, to shield from Katsuki's intense glare. The helicopter was already over its weight limit, Katsuki. There were more people here than we anticipated. If I jumped on, they might not have made it back in time before the storm hit. Katsuki snarled. From all the dumb shit you pull, are you really so full of yourself that you think your 1+ body weight would have brought down a state-of-the-art helicopter? I didn't mean I would pull it down. I just meant, Katsuki, why take the risk of all those people? That might be a state-of-the-art helicopter, but if they got caught in that storm, anything could have happened. The pilot would be flying blind. They could have crashed into a mountain or something. Katsuki glares, but his eyes turn glassy. It absolutely amazes me how you're trying to make sense of your suicide attempt. You were horrified by his assumption. Katsuki, no. You know, between you and Deku, I don't know what the fuck I'm going to do with the both of you. Since you two want to leave me so fucking bad, you should just go. Katsuki dumped the spoon he was stirring with into the pot and stormed off into the furthest corner of the tent. You were stunned for a good few seconds. Katsuki hardly ever had such emotional outbursts, or revealing outbursts. It made you feel terrible that you'd gotten him to that point. You carefully shift out from Izuku's grasp to not wake him, though with Izuku it would take a truck's horn at his ear to wake him. You wince as your bones crack in an unsatisfying way. Oi, what do you think you're doing? Katsuki bellowed. You managed to rise on your knees, already out of breath like you'd run a marathon. You pause, fighting off a wave of dizziness. Hands grabbed your arms roughly. Katsuki is before you, his face a mask of anger and anguish. Lay back down, he said gruffly. You pull back, tugging him to kneel with you. You promptly envelop him in a hug, nuzzling under his chin. I'm not going anywhere, and neither is Izuku. I'm sorry for making you think we were. There was hesitance and a small shaky exhale before his arms wrapped around you. If you mean it, stop doing all these crazy stunts. I can't. I won't. I get it. I'm sorry, you say contrite. I'll be better, I promise. Katsuki, Poppy, you can't be doing those kinds of things while you're still recovering. You and Katsuki break apart to see Izuku rising, his chest bare. It was then when you realized you too were naked. You glanced down at yourself. Why am I naked? Katsuki rolled his eyes before shoving you gently to Izuku, going back to the meal he was cooking on the gas stove. How else do you think we got your body temperature up so fast, dumbass? You blinked at him twice. Katsuki glares. Not that. Body heat sharing, for the love of... You giggle. Right. Izuku tugs you back to his chest, pressing a simple kiss to your shoulder. You okay, Poppy? Not cold anymore? You bask in his tranquil touch. I'm okay. Thank you for saving me. Katsuki clicked his tongue in annoyance. Izuku hummed with concern. What you did was very reckless, Poppy. I know, you say sheepishly. I'm sorry. Katsuki chewed me up before you woke. Izuku poked you at your side. That doesn't mean I'm not gonna chew you up, too. You turn to him, pouting, and he sighs, defeated by his arch-nemesis, your puppy dog eyes. Fine, I won't, right now. When you're feeling better, though. You move closer, a hand coming to rest on your cheek. I'm glad you're all right. He presses his lips to yours. The motions were soft, savoring, slow, and it warmed your heart. Oi, didn't you just say we're not doing that right now? Fucking heathens. Izuku pulls back, a smile playing on his lips as he replied, Sorry, Kachan. He kisses your forehead, the press longer and a little hard. I'm so glad you're all right. He whispers into your hairline. You said that already, you say lowly. I know, he says with a shuddering breath, but it's true. He was holding back tears, and in classic Izuku fashion, not very well. You slip your arms around him, holding onto him tightly so you could feel the warmth he'd given back to you, your chest rising and falling with breaths. I'm okay, Izu. I'm okay. He nodded into your hair, pulling away, offering a wobbly smile. Katsuki plopped down with the tray in hand. There was a small red pot on it with a few slices of bread. Inside the pot was a thick brown liquid, smelling of meat. What is that? You asked curiously. Cup of soup, Katsuki grunted. You eyed the pot. Must be about 3 packets in there. Knowing Katsuki, you wouldn't put it past him to have added his own spices. How did you eat the bread without squashing it? Izuku asked inquisitively. Katsuki glared. I'm just not dumb like you. Izuku whimpered. Mean? His bottom lip jutted out cutely. Katsuki, stop being mean, you chide. Katsuki points an offending finger at you. You can't talk. You're on probation until further notice. Says who? You say indignantly. Me. Now eat. You scowl, crossing your arms and leaning back stubbornly. Katsuki was furious. Oi! Izuku giggled. Here. He dipped a piece of bread into the soup and blew on it. Then held it out for you. Please eat, Poppy. And just as your puppy eyes were Izuku's weakness, his please was yours. You conceded, not moving besides dropping your jaw to accept the bread. Spoiled brat, Katsuki grumbled, breaking his own bread. You stick your tongue out and let Izuku keep feeding you. Don't forget to take for yourself as well, you remind. Izuku hums, non-committal, raising another piece of bread to your mouth. You shut it, looking at him expectantly. Oh, Poppy, you're recovering. I'll eat after you. You continue to stare. Eat the damn thing, Deku. They're as stubborn as a boar. You send Katsuki a scalding look. A boar? He grinned wickedly. What? Pigs are cute. You roll your eyes and then let them land on Izuku once again. Oh, fine. Izuku feeds himself. Happy? Yep. You and Katsuki say simultaneously. Weren't we supposed to be teaming up against them? Izuku asks Katsuki, betrayed. Things change, Izuku. Get with the times. Izuku's eyes glimmer the way they always do when he says his name. And he falters, hiding his blush with another slice of bread. They eat in silence, a peace in knowing each one of them was safe. The torrent winds of the blizzard somewhere far beyond their little cave of warmth. By morning, they would make the trek back, safe in the suits Hatsumi had provided. A spare for you, and another for Izuku, who had apparently ripped his with his quirk. You three would have a long talk about balancing hero work and self-care, to always ensure you all come back home to your partners, safe and sound.